Usually when we look at our bank accounts, there's this expectation of just pure, unfiltered math.
Right, like it's totally objective.
Exactly. It feels entirely binary. I mean, you log into your app, the screen loads, it shows you a specific number, and
Yeah.
and that is supposedly the reality of your life.
Yeah, you either have the funds or you don't.
Right. It's presented as this completely neutral ledger of digits.
It is supposed to be, the ultimate rational space. Just numbers cleanly categorized into income and expenses.
Like a very sterile environment, in theory.
In theory, yeah.
But the moment you step out of that theoretical space and, into the actual lived human experience of money,
Oh, it all falls apart.
it really does. That objective ledger vanishes entirely. We are suddenly looking at a landscape that is incredibly emotional, deeply subjective, and honestly, for a lot of people, just terrifying.
Oh, pure stress.
Because money is tied to our sense of security, right? Our self-worth, our actual survival.
It is the absolute definition of an anxiety trap.
Yeah.
I mean, the rational math goes completely out the window. The second, the visceral stress of a looming deadline or an unexpected expense kicks in.
Oh, for sure.
Because our fight or flight response, it really doesn't distinguish between a physical threat and a financial one.
It just feels like danger. Well, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are bringing you the next installment in our daily chapter summary series exploring Rhonda Byrne's book, The Magic.
Yes, moving right along.
We are jumping into day 5 today, which is titled Magic Money. And let me tell you, today's mission is a big one.
Huge.
We are going to tackle that exact anxiety trap we were just talking about. We are exploring the source's methodology for completely rewiring how you think about your finances.
Which is not easy.
Not at all. The goal of this chapter is to shift you from a mindset of lack and constant complaint to one of profound magnetic gratitude. So, okay, let's unpack this. Because before we get to any of the actual practices in the book, we really have to understand the fundamental law the author presents.
Right, the core philosophy.
Yeah, regarding how our internal feelings supposedly dictate our external financial reality.
And the text sets the stage for this immediately. They bring in a quote from the Christian Science hymnal.
Oh, right, I remember that.
Yeah, it states, "Gratitude is riches, complaint is poverty."
Wow.
And that concept, that is the absolute anchor for everything the book explores in this chapter. The author makes a very bold, unambiguous assertion here.
Which is?
If there is a lack of money in your life, any feelings of worry, envy, jealousy, disappointment, or fear about money will never, ever bring more of it to you.
Never.
Right. In fact, the book claims these feelings actively repel wealth.
Because, according to the source's philosophy anyway, those negative feelings stem directly from a fundamental lack of gratitude for the money you already possess.
Exactly. No matter how small that amount might be.
Even if you're down to your last $5.
Even then. And the text explicitly warns you about everyday behaviors that, things we might just consider normal, or even just venting to a friend.
Right, like what?
Like complaining about money, arguing over bills, getting frustrated at the grocery store checkout.
When you see the total and just sigh.
Yes. Or criticizing the cost of consumer goods, even making someone else feel guilty about a purchase they made. The book frames these not as neutral actions, but as highly destructive ones.
Wow.
The claim is that engaging in those behaviors actually guarantees your financial situation will get worse.
See, I have to push back here, or at least play the voice of the everyman for a second.
Go for it.
Because this premise is incredibly counterintuitive and frankly a little frustrating.
It is. It really is.
I mean, when you are genuinely broke, or when you can barely make rent, worrying feels like active problem solving.
Right. It feels responsible.
Exactly. If my car breaks down and I'm staring at a surprise $500 repair bill I can't afford, my panic feels justified. It feels like I'm taking the threat to my livelihood seriously.
Like you're mobilized.
Right. If I don't stress about it, I might not scramble to find a solution. But the author is essentially saying that the entirely natural panic that you don't have enough is a form of ingratitude.
That's exactly what she's saying.
It feels a bit like, I don't know, toxic positivity. It's like paying a premium for bad energy. You are already broke, and now, according to this methodology, you are spending your mental currency to ensure you stay that way.
Paying a premium for bad energy. I like that. That perfectly captures the psychological bind the book is addressing here.
Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow.
It is. And, to be fair to the source material, it does validate that exact struggle.
Yeah.
The author explicitly acknowledges that feeling grateful for money when you are staring down a massive deficit is one of the most challenging things a person can do.
Well, yeah, because it goes against everything our brains are wired to do.
Precisely. It goes directly against our evolutionary survival instincts.
Yeah.
Those instincts are screaming at us to focus on the immediate threat.
The tiger in the bushes,
Mhm.
or the eviction notice on the door.
Exactly. But what's fascinating here is the absolute nature of the rule the book lays out to counter this. The text states that you must, without exception, get your current situation out of your mind.
Just ignore it.
You have to actively remove the immediate financial stressor from your focus. That is the only way to allow money to, in the book's terms, magically increase.
So, in the framework of the magic, the complaint itself is the bottleneck.
Yes.
It literally stops the flow of abundance.
The methodology relies heavily on the idea that like attracts like. I mean, the quote the book uses to summarize this is quite stark.
What was it again?
It says, "Whoever has gratitude for money will be given more, and she or he will have an abundance. Whoever does not have gratitude for money, even what she or he has, will be taken from her or him."
That is heavy.
It is. The underlying premise is that you just cannot solve a problem of lack while vibrating at the frequency of lack.
Which, I mean, that brings us to the obvious hurdle, the very real boots on the ground problem.
Yeah, the application.
Right. If you were sitting at your kitchen table staring at a stack of overdue final notice bills, just ignoring them and conjuring up a feeling of deep, sincere gratitude is a massively tall order.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels physically impossible for most people. And this is where the book introduces what I think is a really clever psychological workaround.
It's a great pivot.
Since it's so difficult to feel grateful when current financial stressors are staring you right in the face, the source instructs you to travel back in time.
Yes, the childhood reflection.
Right. You have to look to your past to build a feeling of abundance that you can then bring into the present.
It is a totally deliberate strategy to bypass those present-day anxiety triggers. The first specific practice for day 5 asks you to just sit down for a few uninterrupted minutes and mentally walk back through your childhood.
Before you had a job or a mortgage.
Exactly. Specifically, you are instructed to focus on the time before you had much or really any money of your own to manage.
The goal here is to recall all the things that were provided to you at absolutely no charge.
And the text provides a really extensive list of prompts to jog your memory. Because, I mean, we tend to take a lot of this for granted, right?
Oh, completely.
It asks things like, did you always have food to eat? Did you live in a home?
The big things.
Right. But then it brings up the massive expense of receiving an education over many years, having school books provided for you, or going on family vacations.
Which are so expensive.
So expensive. And the prompts get into the highly granular everyday necessities too. Like, did you have a bike to ride around the neighborhood? Toys to play with? A family pet?
Oh man, pets cost a fortune.
They really do. What about clothes? Children grow so fast that their wardrobes constantly need replacing, which is a significant expense. Did you go to the doctor or the dentist when you were sick?
Right, all paid for.
And then it points to the absolute basics that we interact with every single day without a second thought. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap, shampoo.
Electricity keeping the lights on.
Yes. The
Yes.
clean water coming out of the tap, the television you watched, all of it.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because when you actually pause and mentally inventory that list, the sheer volume of free things we received as children is staggering.
It really is.
I mean, when you are a kid, you operate under the assumption that the lights just naturally turn on when you flip the switch, and the fridge magically replenishes itself with groceries every week.
Your grocery fairy just drops it off.
Exactly. But the book forces you to systematically reframe that entire childhood experience. Every single one of those things, every meal, every hot shower, equated to hard-earned money that was paid by someone else.
You were essentially living a life of immense luxury, entirely funded by external sources.
Yeah.
The practice asks you to recognize that you were surrounded by wealth that was being freely spent on your behalf.
It totally reframes your past as a time of unbelievable wealth. I mean, you were walking around as a multi-thousand, maybe multi-million-dollar investment before you even knew how to tie your own shoes.
That's a great way to put it, an investment.
And the specific instruction from the author is that as you recall each of these memories where money was paid for you, you have to say and deeply feel the magic words, "Thank you," with all your heart.
The feeling is the entire engine of the practice here. By forcing your brain to focus on the tangible abundance of the past, You temporarily disconnect from the anxiety of the present.
You break the spell of the current panic.
Exactly. And according to the book, you are tapping into a universal law. Sincere gratitude for money received in the past guarantees that money will increase in the future.
Okay, but even if someone doesn't buy into the universal law part.
Right, from a purely psychological standpoint, it still works. It builds an undeniable factual case in your own mind that you have, in fact, been richly provided for throughout your life.
It's evidence.
Yes, it proves to your brain that survival and support are possible because they have already happened to you.
Okay, let's trace the logic here. We've used the past to shift our mindset. We've built up this reservoir of genuine gratitude by remembering all those free meals, the winter coats, the birthday presents. But how do you practically carry that feeling into a present day that is still filled with adult financial stressors?
Right, you can't just live in the past.
Because the book doesn't just leave you marooned in your childhood memories, right? It introduces a physical anchor for the present day.
Yes, this is the concept of the magic dollar bill.
I really appreciate the tactile nature of this exercise.
Me too.
So the instruction is to literally take a dollar bill out of your wallet or, any small denomination bill if you're using another currency. A 5-pound note, a 10-euro bill, whatever works.
Just physical money.
Right. And you place a sticker on it, and on that sticker, you write in big, bold letters,
Quote, "Thank you for all the money I've been given throughout my life," end quote.
it transforms a mundane piece of currency into a physical talisman, a touchstone for the brain.
It does. And the daily application of this object is very specific. The book instructs you to take this magic dollar bill with you throughout your day.
Keep it close by.
Yeah, keep it in your wallet, your purse, your pocket. You are supposed to take it out at least once in the morning and at least once in the afternoon.
Or more if you need to.
Right, as many times as you feel you need to. You hold it in your hands, you read the bold words you wrote on the sticker, and you purposefully conjure up that feeling of true gratitude.
For the sheer abundance of money you've been given throughout your entire life.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk mechanics, because this is where the skeptical part of the brain kicks in.
I was waiting for this.
Well, yeah. How does holding a dollar bill actually change real-world financial circumstances, according to the author? Because, holding a piece of paper with a sticker on it isn't going to magically hack my bank's mainframe and add zeros to my checking account.
Sadly, no.
So what is the mechanism here?
Well, the text is clear that the physical bill itself has no intrinsic power. The sincerity of your emotion is the catalyst.
The bill is just a tool.
The bill is simply the tool used to generate and focus that sincerity. According to the source's philosophy, the more deeply you feel that gratitude, the faster you will see a miraculous change to the circumstances of your money.
Okay, but how?
Now, while the book uses the language of magic and universal laws to explain this, if we look at it through a psychological or cognitive behavioral lens, there is a very real mechanism at play here.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's related to the reticular activating system, or the RAS, in our
Yeah.
brains.
The filter that decides what information gets our attention and what gets ignored.
Exactly.
Like when you buy a red car and suddenly you see red cars everywhere on the highway.
Precisely. Your brain is constantly bombarded with millions of bits of data, right?
Yeah.
And the RAS filters out what it deems unimportant so you don't get completely overwhelmed.
It makes total sense.
When you are consumed by financial panic and a mindset of lack, your RAS is primed to only see threats. Bills, high prices, shrinking bank balances.
It's all you can focus on.
But by intentionally carrying this magic dollar bill and forcing yourself to feel abundance multiple times a day, you are essentially reprogramming your RAS.
You're changing the filter.
You are telling your brain, abundance and opportunity are important to me. Look for them.
So the how might be framed as magic in the text, but practically it's about shifting your perception so you don't miss the opportunities that are already there.
Exactly.
And the book actually lists the specific manifestations you should be looking out for, right? It's not just expecting a briefcase full of non-sequential bills to fall from the sky.
No. The author promises that you will likely see many different practical circumstances change.
Like what?
Well, you might suddenly find money you didn't realize you had, like finding a $20 bill in an old winter coat.
Love when that happens.
Or you could receive unexpected cash or checks in the mail. But it also manifests in less direct ways. Sudden discounts on things you were going to buy anyway.
Oh, that's huge.
Unexpected rebates. Or even a decrease in your usual recurring costs. It could even be receiving material items for free that you would have otherwise had to spend your own money on.
So it's an overall increase in your financial fluidity. Like a sudden $50 discount on that car repair we talked about earlier. That is technically a $50 increase in your available money.
Exactly. The math works out the same as if someone just handed you a $50 bill.
This raises an important question, though. The magic dollar bill is a great physical anchor. But how do you maintain this newly found, carefully cultivated perspective when daily life inevitably tests you?
And it will test you.
Because the urge to complain about money is deeply, deeply ingrained in our culture. I mean, it's almost a bonding activity.
Oh, absolutely.
You get a parking ticket, or you see the skyrocketing price of groceries, and the immediate socially acceptable reaction is frustration and complaint. You turn to the person next to you and say, "Can you believe this?"
Yep, it's how we relate to each other. But the book absolutely anticipates that cultural programming.
It does.
It provides a specific, real-time strategy for catching those complaints before they do damage to your mindset.
Okay, what is it?
The instruction is that if you find yourself in a situation where you are about to complain about something having to do with money, and the text clarifies, this means either speaking the words out loud or just entertaining the internal thought.
So even just thinking it counts.
Yes, you have to forcefully stop yourself and ask a single question.
What's the question?
It's a very sobering question to interject into a moment of frustration. You have to ask, am I willing to pay the price for this complaint?
Wow. Am I willing to pay the price for this complaint? That is so powerful.
It really stops you in your tracks.
Because it reframes the complaint from a harmless release of tension into a highly expensive luxury.
Exactly. The book insists that just that one single complaint will slow or entirely stop the flow of money into your life.
You are literally footing the bill for your own negativity. You are paying a toll to be miserable.
And to counteract that pervasive tendency to complain, the text requires a commitment from you.
A promise.
Right. From this day forward, whenever you receive money, no matter what form it takes, no matter how small, you make a promise to be genuinely grateful for it.
So whether it's your regular salary for a hard week's work, which, we often just view as a neutral transaction,
Or a tax refund.
or a small discount at the pharmacy, or even a friend buying you a cup of coffee that you would have otherwise paid for yourself.
Each of those instances represents an influx of value,
Correct.
and the source views every single one of those moments as a critical opportunity.
An opportunity to multiply it.
Yes, a chance to use this practice of gratitude to increase and multiply your money.
So what does this all mean? When you really look at what this chapter is asking of the reader, it is attempting to reframe every single financial interaction you have.
Every single one.
Usually we reserve the feeling of gratitude for a massive life-changing windfall. We wait for the lottery win to feel grateful.
Right, the big stuff.
But this practice lowers the threshold of gratitude to the absolute floor. Even getting 50 cents off a can of beans at the supermarket becomes an active, exciting opportunity to multiply your wealth.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this entire methodology is attempting to transform our fundamental relationship with commerce, value, and exchange.
It turns everything upside down.
It turns every transaction from a potential stressor, a moment where you feel like you are losing resources, into a moment of deep appreciation. It trains the brain to constantly scan the horizon for abundance rather than lack.
And the book weaves this specific financial focus into the broader daily habits it has been building throughout the series, doesn't it?
It does. The methodology is all about bookending your day with this mindset.
Let's run through that checklist really quick.
Sure. So it asks you to start your morning by writing out 10 things you are blessed with and feeling thankful for them.
Practice number 1.
Right? Which grounds you before the day even begins. Then you do the childhood reflection we talked about, and you carry that magic dollar bill with you out into the world to handle the midday stress.
Putting it somewhere visible for the future, too.
Exactly. And the author also incorporates the evening practice, the magic rock, which we've discussed in previous deep dives.
Right.
Before you go to sleep, you hold a specific designated rock or small object in your hand, think back over your entire day, and find the single best thing that happened. And you say thank you for that specific moment.
It creates a closed loop of gratitude. I mean, from the moment you wake up, through the tactile reminders during your daily commute and errands, all the way to the final thought before you fall asleep.
It's comprehensive.
You are essentially surrounding your consciousness with a barrier of appreciation, leaving very little room for financial panic to take root.
Which brings us to the core takeaway for today's deep dive into the source material. What the author is ultimately arguing is that true abundance isn't actually about what is currently sitting in your bank account.
It's not about the math.
No, those numbers on the screen, that objective ledger we talked about at the beginning, they are just a lagging indicator.
Oh, that's interesting.
They're an echo of your past feelings and mindsets. According to this book, true abundance is a state of mind. It's an internal environment achieved by actively, stubbornly shifting away from the poverty of complaint.
And choosing to step into the riches of gratitude.
Yes, and that process starts right now by acknowledging the immense, undeniable wealth you have already been given throughout your life.
It's about recognizing that you have never truly been without support. Even if that support came in forms like running water or public schools that you didn't fully recognize as immense wealth at the time.
It challenges us to open our eyes to the infrastructure of abundance that is already holding us up.
I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you go about the rest of your day. The source asks us to reflect heavily on our childhood, to feel that sense of unearned abundance, and to realize how rich we actually were. But think about today, right now, in this exact moment. As an adult, what invisible free benefits are you utilizing?
That's a great question.
What unexpected savings, what open source software, what acts of generosity from strangers or friends are you receiving today that you are treating as just a given?
The things we just expect to be there.
Exactly. What are you walking past or clicking past? That is actually a massive gift. A gift that, if you stop to be truly, deeply grateful for it, could be the very thing that reprograms your brain to attract even more wealth into your life.
It's a powerful lens to view your daily routine through.
It really is. Remember to create your magic dollar bill today. Put that sticker on it and keep it handy whenever the stress creeps in. Thank you for joining us for this session of our daily chapter summary series on the magic.
See you next time.
We will see you next time as we continue our deep dive into day 6. Until then, remember, that bank account might look like a binary string of numbers, but the way you choose to feel about it holds all the actual power. Keep looking for the magic.